Welcome back everybody. It's been a while having more than one phone on my review table, and this is going to be some comparison in regards to the visuals, to the aesthetics on the beta forefront, because this thing here is my Google Pixel 9 Pro XL and it's running the QPR1 beta 3.1. This thing here is my S25 Ultra and it's running One UI 8 BYGD. It's not even a very official stable update, it's a internal beta update, but it's working very good. And this thing here is running the iOS 26. This is the beta 6 on my, believe it or not, iPhone 13. So with this video, I'm not saying that I'm comparing the official One UI 8 with the official Android 16 for the Pixel and the official iOS 26, because those things are just not yet there. They're not there for the public, besides the stable One UI 8 for the Z Fold 7 and Z Flip 7. But I do believe that we have now a very good common ground to compare it, since this thing is stable, this is stable, and this thing is rather stable as well. For the sake of the comparison, I'm also using the same background, and having the limitations of the iPhone 13 parallel, I'm not gonna be able to show you things like always on display, which is supported on my Pixel 9 Pro XL and also on my S25 Ultra. But guys, I will have to leave also some things for your fantasy. Nevertheless, this is gonna be the lock screen on all three phones. All right, Pixel, S25 Ultra, and the new look here with the updated lock screen with the intensified liquid glass effect on the clock for my iPhone 13, guys. So what I want to really to show you is how this thing operates, the apps opening and apps closing animation. But before we get to this, I also want to show you how you can customize it. So on the iPhone, I just do it like this. I press customize, and then I have a bunch of things. I can make the clock big and small. We do have here the new liquid glass effect. There is also this spatial effect that can be generated. Yes, also for the iPhone 13, which means that right now I can move the wallpaper if I want to do so. And you have some filters, which is rather cool. And of course, you have all kind of widgets. And it's getting very good, I would say, very good now. What happens on the S25 Ultra? Okay, I'm gonna show you guys if I'm able to open my phone. This is here the S25 Ultra. And how does it work on the Pixel? Okay, I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna press here and I'm gonna show you the customization screen on the Pixel. So I do like the S25 Ultra because it kind of gives me a shrinked, scaled version of my whole wallpaper that I plan to use with all the kinds of effects. Of course, a lot of this thing here now are so similar. You can see the iOS 26 with the One UI 8. Oh my God, you know, like sometimes I'm having the feeling, yeah, I mean, this isn't really so different. Can we make the clock big here if you want? I think you can, but not as big as here. But oh boy, like these menus here with all the fonts, this kind of looks suspiciously equal to what we have here. And this is also why I like the Pixel. Pixel has a bit of its own design, because let's say if I want to change the clock, it's going to work like from here. I have all these nice clock faces. The ones here on the Samsung, I guess, are a bit more on the boring side. And the font clock and color on the iPhone is also kind of a bit boring. As to the Pixel, has this more like artistic view, you know, like some people might not dig it. I honestly am a fan of it. And also what I do like on the Pixel, every time you choose a different setting for the clock font, you do have some other settings, like, you know, the clock face width if you want, or even sometimes the size. For some of the clocks you have the size, not only the style, but then also the color and the size. Honestly, yeah. What can I tell you guys? I do believe that right now all these three phones have plenty of customization options with different colors, and it's kind of cool to just see really how much work Apple put in to just try to get to where Android users were already few years ago. I'm gonna put it very blunt, guys. iOS and customizations wasn't really a big thing before, maybe a few versions back iOS, but iOS 26 is going to put this all to a new level with a lot of options that you can do, and some things like the depth effect that I can sadly not demonstrate here because it doesn't really work on that wallpaper are even crazy good. All right, so what I'm saying right now is that you're probably going to get Okay, I don't want to say the same experience, but you're probably gonna get a very similar experience, very good visual and aesthetically wise, pumped up experience if you decide to use the premium from Google or Samsung or of course Apple. And guys, probably in the next few weeks and months, we're gonna get the updated Pixel 10 and also the iPhone 17. And this thing here is gonna be still top of the line until next year. Hopefully Samsung updates it with the S26 series. But now I am on my home screen. What can we see here, guys? What happens when I swipe from the right? Okay, one swipe here, one swipe here, one swipe here. Boom. Again, the new updated liquid glass design, loved by so many people, hated by so many people. Honestly, I feel positive about it. It wasn't good when it started. iOS 26 Beta 3 revamped it, then toned it down. But now with the Beta 6, finally they kind of enhanced and improved the readability and also the clarity, which is kind of good. So here I get the control center. Now here on the Android phones, I do have control center with notifications on my Pixel, and I do have only the control center here on my S25 Ultra. I can do like this and get to the full of the control center. Now, apparently the control center is a bit different. And honestly, guys, here we have a weird combination of boxes and squares and circular shapes that you can just go. And if you want to also try to resize, if that's your thing, because you can do this. I mean, if you press here, you can see you can make toggles big, and you know, some of the toggles you can shrink them. So honestly, this is now way more powerful than it used to be. Again, this isn't the pure stock Android. This is the Pixel UI on top of this. A very clean look on the S25 Ultra. You can re-edit some of the toggles, but you cannot just play with the shapes like you can do here. And we do have some very powerful settings on iOS 26 as well. So you can make some toggles big and small. Let me just try to see if I can make them big. Yeah, you can. So apparently I can resize toggle. I can play with this. I can do the grouping. So honestly, all of them, you know, they have their strengths and their weaknesses, but they are beautifully, all three of them. Okay, what happens when I swipe from the left? Apparently I get the same thing. Notifications here, all notifications. By the way, you can change this. Yes, I know on One UI you can change this view, but right now I'm just sharing with you what I'm using here. And I can do this also on iOS with this very nice and beautiful reflections here with the new liquid glass. And apparently, guys, what happens is when I go back, I have these very nice and boom, crazy animations here. All right, what happens? Yeah, nothing here, nothing. But iOS and Apple, they're really big on animations. What is very important is clarity, readability. Now, this thing is, of course, better because it's way more contrast, like we have here, these white spaces with the black font here. Yeah, you can still struggle a bit, but believe it or not, guys, this thing here is way better than used to be. What happens if you click on notification just like this to expand it like this here as well? Left, right, it works pretty much in the same way. And what happens if you want to clear them all? Clear all, nice fancy animation. Clear all, nice fancy animation. And what is going to happen on the iPhone if I scroll down? Can I clear them all? I know I can. Boom, from here, clear. All right, nice. You're on the lock screen and boom, back on the home screen. What happens if I scroll to the left? Apparently Google Home here, and here I have the boring, whatever this widget thing is on the Apple. Now, guys, what is going to happen? I'm going to try to show you the recent menu, animation. Okay, here, you know, it's slow and so slow on the iPhone. But what I'm going to do, guys, I'm just going to go and try to kill everything. And you know how it works? Yeah, there isn't still a way for you to kind of like must close programs. Yeah, I mean, I know that's debatable. Apparently people are saying, hey, you know what? The phone knows better than you here. Boom, very easy, close all. And on the Pixel, I need to go and boom, clear all. So now Spotify, this is the new apps opening animation, you know, from iOS 6, and it's kind of nice. Okay, you can see what happens. Boom, fully expands, shrinks down, and still does like a slow jump. What happens on One UI? All right, and by the way, stock One UI 8, no good luck, which means I'm not using the home app enhancement, because believe it or not, guys, if I am to turn the home app, it's gonna get crazy. There is no way that I can do a video that is not gonna be like 2 hours. So home app is definitely off because we have plenty of settings. Okay, closing one more time, and let's try to do Spotify here. All right, you can see And now, okay. By the way, guys, this being an iPhone 13, this is not a very good way to compare. No 60 hertz, but you can see how the animation is still different. And this is the Pixel one. I do love it. Very like straightforward. Boom. Just plain, straightforward, and kind of quick. All right. Pixel versus Samsung. And now the Pixel also versus the iPhone. And you can see, by the way, when I minimize, I'm gonna have this like jump in and out effect on the iPhone, on the whole background. What happens here? Yeah. By the way, here at the moment with the stock settings, there is no blur applied on the wallpaper, but I know with Home Up we can do this. But I'm showing some stock settings, hence no blur here. But you can see how quickly this works on the Pixel and also on the Samsung S25 Ultra and also on my very old iPhone 13, guys. But let me also show you what happens when I open something from the dock. And I'm gonna start with Safari, right? Boom, so nice. All right, here it's kind of the same animations, right? It's the same animation on the S25 Ultra and it's a bit the same animation as here on the Pixel, right? But when I open the apps from dock, we have this like boom playing around. And by the way, this also happens, guys, when you do this from that corner. So if I am to open now Facebook, you can see, right? Like you can tell it goes from here and then it fully expands, and I can also put this down below. All right, it's going to be a change again. It's going to expand like this, and I don't think that this type of behavior applies to One UI 8. It's kind of like still the same thing here, and I think it's the same also on the Pixel. If you want to do it from here, it's going to be still the same, right? Nevertheless, I do like all these three animations. Somehow I do believe that the iOS 26 has very, very sweet. But I have a fear that if I'm to use this as my main driver, at some point I'm gonna get like annoyed with this, and hence this is why I would go with something like One UI, because I can change it every day, be with a different animation, which is kind of cool. Okay, I'm gonna put this down again, and now it's gonna be time to review some of the widgets, guys. I do have some widgets, so let me just show you. This here are all the widgets that I do have stock. All right, so this is, for example, the Spotify one. Spotify here as well. Okay, exiting. Okay, this is how it works on my Pixel on One UI 8. So right now, opening it. Boom. All right, very nice, very fluid animation. This is One UI 8, and this is here the Pixel 9. So I don't really think that one is better than the other. It's just different. Maybe the ones here, like the Pixel 9 and the S25 Ultra, are a bit more similar. And Apple kind of like, they really have their own style. When you open the widgets, it's really like different. And what about the volume rocker, right? I still like the fact that when you open the volume rocker and you start pressing it, it is going to shrink and give you that space back. This is something that doesn't exist here, or let's see here. Yeah, it's the same. By the way, you can see all the very new and very big toggles in Android 16. Here, of course, we do have the up drawer. Here we do have the up drawer on iOS. Apparently, there is no up drawer. All right, here you can do the search. Everything's going to be really, really fluid. And perhaps I'm just going to go back and show you some more of that sweet apps opening and closing. So like this, all right, you can see this is really, really fluid, guys. All right, this, and then opening this. And this is now on the S25 Ultra, which I think is also kind of cool, by the way, right? One more time. Yeah, S25 Ultra, guys. Not that bad. And this would be the Pixel. So you can see right now all these three phones are almost equally very good. And that's going to be, of course, minor and major differences in the whole layout, right? Not only in the control center, but also in the notifications, the fonts that I use. But what I want to say is that I have a feeling that iOS is leveling up their game, and they will slowly start to offer more and more customization to hopefully get to here and here. And honestly, sometimes I do really like how simple things are on Android. If I press here to change the wallpaper and style on both my S25 Ultra or my Pixel 9 Pro XL, I cannot do this from here. I need to lock my phone or just go from some other setting or click here to customize it. But again, it's just some nitpicking. What is the main takeaway is that right now Apple is really very, very close in terms of customization to all the other Android OEM offerings, but I do believe that they are close, but they're not yet there. Specifically, One UI is really very, very customizable, and you probably also customize your Pixel with all kind of third-party widgets and apps, and of course all the other, like the Xiaomi, the Oppos, the Vivos, the Nothing phones, the Huawei's, the Motorola's. I mean, yeah, you know, the list is big, but hey, they are getting close, and I only believe that this is good for us, the users. And I'm gonna be very happy to hear what you think down below in the video comments. So let me know what you think, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and stay safe. VST over, and bye.